Good afternoon. I'm Liz Staubach, Chair of the City of Albany IDA, and I call the meeting of December 21st to order. First item on the agenda is to note that we do have a quorum with just Joseph Better and Christopher Betts not in attendance. I'd ask, next item would be to ask for a leave of the reading of the minutes and ask for a motion to be adopted as presented.
So moved.
Any
Second.
comments, or second, any comments, questions, changes, revisions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next will be the report of the Chief Financial Officer.
For your consideration of financial schedules as of November 30th, 2024. Budget versus actual, we are 153% to revenue and 98% to expenses. Staff continues to control expenses, pursue collection of outstanding fee revenue, partner effectively with advanced projects. And there are no anomalous revenues or expenditures. Balance sheet remains strong and current ratio is approximately 2.3, which is fantastic for our operations.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Andy? All right, moving right along, unfinished business, 563 New Scotland Avenue.
Thank you. This request for additional mortgage reporting tax exemptions was introduced last week at the Finance Committee meeting. So this involves the project 563 New Scotland Ave LLC, which is located directly across the street from St. Peter's Hospital. The original mortgage recording tax approved by this body was for approximately $338,000. Of that, approximately $73,000 remains unused. However, the project beneficiary needs to secure additional financing in the form of a new loan to complete the latter phases of the project. And to do that, they're requesting approximately an additional $211,000 in mortgage recording tax. Because of that additional assistance request being higher than $100,000, we are required to hold a public hearing, which is what the request for this resolution would allow us to do in January. And we do have Deb here with us today, representing the project, who can answer any questions.
Are there any questions? Okay. May I get a motion?
So moved.
Wait, hold on a second. Don't, not yet. May I get a motion on the resolution authorizing the chief executive officer to conduct a public hearing regarding the additional benefits in connection with the 563 New Scotland Ave LLC project?
So moved.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I was on a roll too. I've been down. For new business, Holland Ave OZ.
Thank you, Chair. So this request, this will be, I believe, the first time that the board is hearing this request. It involves Holland Ave OZ, who has been in front of this body quite frequently lately for various requests. We do have Michelle Kennedy here representing the applicant. I'm going to give a brief rundown and turn it over to Michelle. But essentially, Holland Ave OZ, the new 60-unit apartment complex on the corner of Hackett Boulevard and Holland Avenue, is experiencing some higher than expected demand for parking. And as part of that, a number of years ago, they acquired an adjacent vacant building directly next to their property at 17 Holland Ave. And are looking to demolish that structure, which is vacant, to create additional parking spots. And also have that property be part of this project's property. However, they are not requesting that property, 17 Holland Ave, be part of the pilot. That property will be paying taxes going forward, and additional detail, I'm gonna have to turn it over to those smarter than me, so.
Thank you, Andy. Michelle Kennedy again with Whiteman Osterman, and I'm joined by my colleague David Kraft with our firm as well. So as Andy explained, the Gallery and Holland project is experiencing overflow in terms of parking, and some of the residents even currently are parking off site. So this neighboring lot would give them the opportunity, of course, to park at the project site. And mechanically, in terms of the closing documents, we anticipate an omnibus amendment that would swap out the legal description The new legal description would be provided by the title company, and the portion of the consolidated lot that represents 17 Holland Avenue, that portion, as Andy said, would not be subject to any abatement. So they would pay, whether it's a payment in lieu of taxes technically or taxes, it would be at the, assessed value and pursuant to the applicable tax rates.
And Darius, I assume
Oh, boy.
that as part of this, there would be some sort of formal communication and notice to both the assessor and the treasurer's office, so there's no confusion about how to go about, engaging in the billing.
Yeah, I think we probably would actually include it on the pilot bill. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Right, we can work that through with you. I mean, what we could do is not file a 412A form with the assessor's office, so the property actually, even though it's in the name of the IDA, doesn't go off the tax rolls.
Mhm.
Or we could have it go off the tax rolls and they just pay 100% pilot, but we can coordinate that with
Okay.
you and Trey.
Yeah.
As to the most efficient and convenient way to handle that.
So what are we modifying here then?
The real estate description in the document.
Okay.
Yeah, we're adding this parcel to the overall project,
Okay,
but not granting any abatements to them.
yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Had some of these things in our office that have been a little confusing for us to bill, but no, I don't have any further questions.
Okay,
We'll deal with it.
all right. Knowing Darius is gonna deal with it, may I get a motion on the resolution authorizing the third modification of certain documents with respect to the acquisition of certain parcels of land in connection with the Holland Ave OZ LLC project?
So move.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next item, the resolutions for professional services agreements, 2025.
Thank you, Chair. So these are all. For your consideration are five professional services agreements for 2025. Beginning with legal services, general counsel. So the 2025 professional services agreement, for general counsel services for the agency. No changes were proposed to the agreement from the previous year.
Any questions?
Just of note, we did receive notification, from Marisa that upon her departure, at the end of this month, Rob McGee will be Corp Counsel's representative for this body.
All right,
Do we,
You wanna do them all,
or do we do this in aggregate? And
okay, I gotta do them one at a time? One at a time.
I'm good on the aggregate if you want. I'm gonna see who's our administrative manager.
We don't have resos for general. We'll have resos for general and bond counsel.
Okay, did you want to do those at the,
I thought those get pulled into,
the
Housekeeping.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just more of a, I don't know if we want a motion. We still have resos for them.
Right, so you could do them at the January meeting, or you could do a voice resolution now, and we could, and then we could paper it later on, it's up to you.
Voice.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
All right, so I won't say anything.
Next, legal services, bond and special counsel. 2025 professional services agreement for bond and special counsel services for the agency. Staff noted that the 2025 fee structure for Hodgson Russ has remained substantially unchanged from the previous year. It's approximately $20,000. I would defer to you or Ashley with commentary on continuity of service and relationship in general.
Sure, yes, we found a high value in longstanding relationships, especially those involving complicated matters such as legal services. So we do find the value there, and the institutional knowledge comes in handy quite often in going through the daily business of the agency.
Moving on to professional services. This is the professional services agreement between the City of Albany IDA, Capitalize Albany Corporation, and Capital Resource Corporation, in which Capitalize Albany Corporation provides professional economic development, management, and administrative support services to the City of Albany IDA and Capital Resource Corporation. This agreement was previously discussed at the Finance Committee meeting and received a positive recommendation. Based on budgetary projections for 2025, the amount of the agreement, $632,000, will remain the same. Each year, this is examined to ensure the amount aligns with the services provided. Contract for Services Economic Development. This is the contract for services for economic development between the City of Albany IDA and Capitalize Albany Corporation, which remains unchanged, $250,000 from 2024. This agreement was previously discussed in the Finance Committee meeting and received a positive recommendation. And finally, the contract for services, Capital Resource Corporation. The contract between the City of Albany IDA and Capital Resource Corporation that allows the CRC to reimburse the IDA for a portion of the professional services agreement and remains unchanged from the previous year, $20,000. This agreement was also previously discussed at the Finance Committee meeting and received a positive recommendation. That concludes the professional services agreements for 2025.
Okay. Are there any questions?
No.
Items for discussion? We are grouping them all together, just wanted to double check.
If we're grouping them, then yeah, then we can abstain.
From all, okay,
Yeah.
And you have enough votes.
okay. All right, so may I get a motion on the resolution for professional services agreements for 2025, including bond and general counsel?
So moved.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
With one abstention. I do that, right?
Yes. Okay.
To other business, agency update.
Yes, we have a number of things to go over. And to kick it off, I am going to hand it over to Olivia.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Maria's passing around some materials related to a proposed amendment to the agency policy manual that was discussed at the governance committee earlier this month. To provide a bit of background, the policy manual currently requires low-income housing tax credit projects, specifically 9%, LIHTC projects to pay an additional administrative fee equal to $10,000 per year for a duration of 10 years. And this is in addition to all the standard fees that apply to all projects that come through the agency. Generally, this fee has begun in year one of the project. The proposed amendment would be to reduce this fee to $7,250 per year for the duration of 7 years. And it would change the fee initiation date to, either January 1st of year one or change the initiation date to either issuance of a CO or year 3 of the project. My apologies. Just to provide some background on our reasoning, we have heard from various affordable housing projects that have come through that there's been additional cost burden. As in many projects, specifically insurance costs have gone up significantly. So the articles that were passed around kind of speak to that and the challenges that the projects are facing. I believe this would get wrapped into the annual housekeeping
Correct.
in January. And the governance committee did approve to move this forward.
So this effectively cuts in half the total fee that is owed. Also, shortens the duration during which this is applied. We also did pass around some articles, one of which is, I believe, an open letter to Congress that speaks to how insurance costs, especially for affordable housing projects, have skyrocketed. I believe the first article on the back of the first page just shows some general average and median increases, which are pretty dramatic. But we do think that some fee is necessary and projects have the ability to pay that. 9% tax credit projects the financing of them is very complex. And if there is a request for a deviation, which we have seen very recently with a 9% project, the analysis that staff has to conduct is quite time consuming compared to more, what we see as more common market rate projects. So this fee in part will help offset some of that additional staff time we expect to put into the analysis.
As Olivia said, we gave it a positive recommendation out of the governance committee, but just wanted to flag for the full board, just as a heads up that this will be included in the January housekeeping resolution.
And one other minor tweak, we're also updating our sign template that we require all projects have on site to include the city's new logo.
All right.
If there are no further questions or comments, we also have a project update for you today. This is for the 1415 Washington Ave project. It received approvals in fall of 2021 for mortgage recording tax exemption, sales tax exemptions, and real property tax exemptions. And this project involves the demolition of an existing hotel and the construction of 556 units of student housing, as well as an underground parking garage that I believe has 134, 35 spaces. So, we had the opportunity to visit this earlier this month, and received a tour. Construction was completed over the summer. And leasing began in August of this year. According to the project representatives, leasing rates are high and they have, all of their studios are leased, almost all of their 2-bedroom units are leased. And like 70% of the 4-bedroom units are leased. All the residents at this project are associated with the University of Albany in some way, most being undergraduate students. And studios lease for about $14.20 per month. 2 bedrooms cost $10.80 per month per bedroom, so each resident, and then 4 bedrooms cost $9.50 per month per bedroom. And all the units come furnished with the essentials, beds, desks, couches, tables. This project also has a wide variety of amenities, including a gym, common areas with pool tables, study spaces. There's a dog park, pickleball courts. They have a podcasting room. And the project representatives did note that the amenities are pretty highly utilized, particularly the pickleball courts. They also have grills available for residents. So it's a pretty sweet setup for undergraduate students.
Sorry.
And they also have trash and mail services there. They have a mail service called Parcel Pending, which allows packages to be delivered to, it's similar to like an Amazon locker, and residents can get their packages with a code that they scan and it opens for them. So that is the update. If you have any specific questions about the project, you can also answer.
This was not subject to the new inclusionary zoning rules, correct? Correct, right?
Yeah.
We also don't anticipate seeing more projects like this. We will refine our analysis on purpose-built student housing as we bring the framework back online, but the initial data that in conjunction with Sarah Woodworth, we looked at is that these projects do, for the most part, do not need real property tax exemption assistance based on how their revenue model works and how the per bed. So,
4 bedrooms, renting for $4,000-ish is
correct.
correct, yeah.
So. Awesome.
Thank you. That's it. Thanks.
I wanna get myself one. I know, start a podcast.
Yeah.
Just the kids.
My own
It
dorm.
really is, right? Go back to college. Go back, I never should have graduated. So that was my
another advanced degree.
biggest mistake. Never should have left college.
What are your plans?
Exactly. You should get your doctorate.
Is that right?
Or a second master.
Instead of sending the kids. Thank you very much. Compliance update.
Oh, one more.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to do first prize? Yeah.
No.
Okay, so, Tobin First Prize is the project off of Everett Road on Exchange Street that literally straddles the city of Albany and Colony border. Staff, had been talking extensively, probably about a year ago with Town of Colony, based on the situation, how the buildings are situated and how there'll be a need for the municipalities to agree on shared services. We thought it was best that this is in fact a project, when it comes to IDA assistance, that is probably most appropriate to be engaged by the county. We did, however, request, and we do expect to see a formal request letter from the developer, which is Richville Capital, who's just here for a different project, requesting our permission for them to seek the assistance through the county. So when we have that letter, we will circulate that to this body, and we will also be providing an official response that, we will circulate to the chair for her signature. So just a heads up there.
Makes sense.
Now compliance.
Now compliance. We are down to just refining two questions that are outstanding from the inquiry we received at the end of November from the Office of State Comptroller. We still believe we'll have that out at the end of the month. Again, there was no major concerns, and most of it just involved the nuances of the change in assessed values and also taxable status years that are typically staggered between school and city county, which every year causes some questions to be raised, but nothing of concern. So.
Okay. Thank you. And I just want to, if you'll allow, before adjournment, just recognize the end of an era. That today, unfortunately, will be Joe's last meeting with us as he embarks on a very well-deserved retirement. But, just want to say thank you very much for all of your years of service. I know myself personally, long before I started here on this board, being able to work with you in the town of Bethlehem, it has been an honor and a privilege to learn from you and work with you over the years. And we hope that you have the best retirement, drink some bourbon, go on some bike rides, enjoy yourself. But just, on behalf of everyone here, thank you so much for everything over the years.
Well, it's hard to summarize 40 years in 5 minutes. And I was thinking, while I was sitting here, I've spent a lot of time in this conference room over the years. You're saying thank you to me. I really, and I think when I talked to the staff and you couple of months ago, I got a little misty with you all because it's been a terrific relationship, and I really want to thank you for the opportunity to work with all of you. The staff is top rate, the board is committed. We've had the opportunity to see a lot of different boards, a lot of different staff that have sat in these chairs, and everyone's been committed to the city of Albany, and most importantly, doing the right thing. And that's not always easy because you're in the Capitol, you're under a lot of microscopes, politically, media, the whole thing. And so it's very, very hard for you to keep your head up and be doing what you're doing. And the fact that you do that and you give us the opportunity to assist you to do that has just been incredibly meaningful to me and to my firm over the years. So thank you very much.
I'm just glad you brought some Red Sox fandom heft for this.
And I just wanted to say too, a lot of what we do here from a policy standpoint, procedure standpoint, professionalism, is a result of Joe's influence over the years. Some of the staff has been here not that long, some has been here longer, but those of us that have been here a long time have really had the benefit to learn directly from Joe. And those who didn't will have an indirect benefit by the example that he set and the way that this agency operates. So thank you for what you've done and what you'll allow us to do going forward.
And a lot of really boring templates.
Exactly.
They are all exciting.
Exciting templates. Top-notch boring templates.
Listen, exciting, let's get you into trouble. We don't,
Yeah,
we don't want exciting.
nothing
We
is
want
like
boring, but everything's boring.
They're like average. Thank you very much. Really nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn?
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.